And we're back. Got to bring back that energy that we lost at the end of that extremely long hockey segment. And we're going to talk about something I love more than my own mother, and that's baseball. And we're going to talk about the playoff series.
I think it's probably true.
And we're going to talk about the playoff series, and we're going to break down what's happening. We're going to break down who we think is going to win the series, who we think is eventually going to advance, why they're going to advance, and then we're going to get all the way up to the World Series. And
we have been waiting for Rocktober all year.
He has. I haven't. I like the Rockies, but they're going to get knocked out in the wildcard game, so it doesn't matter.
October, same thing, right?
Yep, go ahead.
Because the Rockies are done, and Zach Greinke is going to come. He's going to pitch 7 innings, no runs, because the Rockies can't hit on the road, and it's been a nice season for them. I like the Rockies. It's over for them.
Yeah,
the Arizona Diamondbacks are still going all the way.
Yeah, I would probably say that. But here's my thing about this game. Zach Greinke is not pitching 7 innings. It's the playoffs. Obviously, you have an inexperienced manager with the Diamondbacks, so you're inexperienced.
Well, you don't want to pitch a bullpen game in a wild card game, though.
What happened?
You don't want to pitch a bullpen game in a wild card game.
Yeah,
you want to save those guys.
You want to milk the starter as long as you can.
And 7 innings is not that much to ask for.
For Zach Greinke, sometimes it might be.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I want the Rockies to win the game. I think John Gray's been awesome lately.
Yeah.
I don't trust him on the road. And I know that sounds crazy, considering Coors Field is Coors Field. It's a hitting ballpark. But his numbers at Coors Field, his ERA is a whole run lower. You don't see that every day.
No, you don't.
And most of the Rocky pitchers this year are like that, besides, like, Tyler Chatwood, and Tyler Anderson. They both Tyler? Yeah, right? Yeah. So the Tyler brothers are the problems at Coors. Herman Marquez, Jeff Hoffman, and John Gray have pitched great at Coors. So you got to look at that for the playoffs, who they're going to pitch in what matchup.
Yeah, and we have, like, I don't know, it's just Arizona's a better team. When you break it down, not at every facet, but at most, you got great pitchers.
Arizona's a better team, I agree with that, but just like Yankees and Twins, a one-game playoff is a one-game playoff, and anything
can happen. I mean, you're right, but we're talking about, like, a Colorado team that doesn't always get lucky, dealt with injuries all year, still played great, and they're not playing at Coors, so it's just the air's a lot denser, if you catch my drift. So,
but it's not like they've never won a road game in Arizona this year.
No, I know.
Their record against Arizona at Chase, it's really not good. I get that.
Yeah.
But they can steal a game, especially with John Gray on the hill.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors going into a wild card game, and that's when we move on to the AL wild card game right now. We have.
Well, before you go to that, I just want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Tony Lavello, I think, is Arizona's manager.
Yeah.
And Bud Black could outmanage him. If it comes down to managing decisions in that game, Bud Black's a better manager.
You have somebody that is like, what's his? It's Lavello's second year.
Lavello's, yeah, probably.
Yeah, and
Tony Black's first.
I mean, you have inexperienced managers going up against each other, and eventually I could see that eventually biting one of the teams in the butt.
Yeah, and last thing before we go to the American League, Nolan Arenado's stats actually show he's a better road hitter than home hitter. He's the only one, but that's their best player.
This is your first year like that.
This year. So it's been 162 games already. You gotta start buying into what you see.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's the best third baseman in baseball, in my opinion.
Mine too.
And he's a great hitter on the road. He's a great hitter at home, but he's a great hitter in general.
As is Charlie Blackmon.
But this is his first year where his split is better on the road than at home. We'll move on to the AL wildcard. We got Yankees Twins. You know my pick. Picking the Yankees. You got Sevy pitching. He's a monster. He's been a monster all year. It's a true breakout season. Last year he had struggles. This year he comes in. He is by far the ace of that staff. And then you have, we'll say why they're going to win first. They have better pitching. You're going against Irvin Santana. Their lineup is red hot. Yeah. The only way I could see the Yankees losing this game is if it comes down to errors. I don't think Sevy's going to have a bad
I don't either, especially against the Minnesota offense, which is pretty streaky, because Buxton's really on and off. Like, I've never seen a more on and off player than Byron Buxton.
Remember at the beginning of the year, everybody was like, wow, he's a flop.
Yeah,
he was
and
terrible.
then he started hitting, and he's the best fielder in the league.
Yeah, and everybody's looking at it like, oh, maybe he wasn't. Well, you got a streaky player. He has the capability of being good. He just
it's
has
not
to
even only
level himself
Buxton, though. It's the Robbie Grossmans and the Eduardo Escobars and who's the first baseman right now? Kenny Vargases. These guys come out of nowhere and they hit like crazy. I don't get it.
And like besides the like Brian Dozier and like
Dozier's a star.
Yeah, and then
that's the only star on that team. Joe Mauer won an MVP.
There's a guy with like 35 home runs. Hefty man. He was in the home run derby.
Sano.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But Sano's not a star. He's a really good player.
He's just
not a star.
He's a big boy with pop.
Yeah.
He's got pop
and it's really hard for
unbelievable.
It's really hard for me in particular, but maybe you too, to be objective about both these games.
Yeah.
But I'm a Yankee and Rocky fan, so it's hard for me to like pick against them.
Yeah.
I did it with Arizona. I'm not doing it with the Yankees and the Twins.
No,
I don't think anyone's picking the Twins though. So that's
It's like it's a hint of objectivity with some opinion thrown in there. So and
you like the Rockies too, so.
Yeah, I like the Rockies too, but like it's just the Diamondbacks are better. Listen, clear cut. Diamondbacks better. Yankees better. That's the way it should end. It probably won't end that way.
Probably won't. I have one home team winning and one road team winning.
Yeah.
No, I just don't know which way it's gonna go.
Yeah, that's.
If we get Arizona and Minnesota winning, I just won't talk about baseball in the air anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, the likelihood of that is pretty low because pretty much everybody's picking against those two teams. But
no, everyone's picking Arizona.
Everyone's picking against.
I said if Arizona and Minnesota win, yeah. Okay. So actually, it's not low. Twins steal a game, man. You're gonna get that.
Yeah, the Twins have the capability. They fought all year. They were not supposed to be even close to the playoffs this year, and they proved everybody wrong. So that hot streak at the beginning of the year was not a fluke. They kept it up. So
do you think there's any chance we can get a Yankee-Red Sox ALCS?
I think yes, and that's what I was going to talk about earlier that I actually forgot about. I think that the Yankees rotation is one of the best in baseball.
The Yankees rotation in the playoffs would be one of the best because you get to eliminate a starter.
Yeah.
So that means you get to go with Sevy game one, and then you'll start your series against Cleveland if you win the game with probably Tanaka on the hill first, then Sonny Gray, and then CeCe.
Yeah, and we got to talk about that. CeCe has been amazing this year. He defied everybody's expectations. Not amazing, but like when you look back at the last 3 years, he struggled mightily, and he comes back this year and he's a monster.
Yeah,
he's really a monster.
Even dealing with a knee injury at the beginning.
Yeah, he's great.
He came back. He's just as good as he was at the beginning.
He had the off-field problems, and he fixed himself, and that was great. He was great again.
So that leads to the question, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you sign CeCe to like a 1-year contract at the end of the year?
Yeah, because if we really want to talk about that, you have the whole Tanaka issue, where is he opting in, is he opting out? If the Yankees win the World Series, he's opting out. So I think
they win the World Series opting out?
Why? I could guarantee it, because he could get more money somewhere else if he has an amazing playoffs, playoffs. I really think so.
No one's gonna. He's too injury prone. No one's gonna pay him what he's getting right now in his current contract. You forget that his current contract is when he came over from Japan.
And it's 20.
It's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. I don't see him opting out, but I think there's a higher chance of him opting out if they do win the World Series.
The only way he opts out of that contract and loses all that money is if he wants to go back home, and I don't see it happening.
No way. Yeah. Absolutely no way.
Then he's staying on the Yankees.
All right.
No way he's not. Then the Yankees are going to spend all that money in the international pool again, probably, with Shohei Ohtani. They're going to try to get him.
All right.
Japanese Babe Ruth.
Yes. The Japanese Babe Ruth.
That's what everyone calls him.
Is he a backflip guy?
He's the guy that is like a superstar pitcher and hitter. You know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
He's supposed to be a star.
Is he heavy?
Is he heavy?
Yeah.
No, he's 19 years old. He's kind of skinny. He's probably like 180.
Huh.
But he's got a lot of power and throws 100 miles an hour.
There's like a 150-pound guy. Well, I mean, 150-pound, like a 250-pound guy. He's huge, plays first base. And
Boof Bonzer?
Yeah, and everybody was talking about him. Like Ken Rosenthal, I heard about it on MLB Network, was talking about this guy.
I don't think it's Ohtani.
I don't know, but I don't know what that's upsetting. Anyways, let's since we're still on the road with the Yankees, we'll talk about Yankees Cleveland. Who do you got?
No, I'm not answering that because once I answer that, I'm gonna jinx it, and Minnesota's gonna win that game. No way I answer that.
All right. Well, I guess.
I don't want you to answer that either.
I believe in jinxes. Cleveland's going to win the series.
And it's actually rough because we're not going to be on the air for Columbus Day next week. So even if the Yankees win that game against the Twins, we can come back here with them out, eliminated by Cleveland.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, that's the end of Yankee baseball. It's going to be the last time we talk about it for the year.
Yeah, so I'll just break this one out quickly. I think Cleveland sweeps the Twins. Cleveland wins 4-2 against the Yankees, if that's the case. We'll stick with the American League because we started off with the National League. We'll go Red Sox Astros. Swans tough. For me, I think it all depends on how Chris Sale pitches, and if the Yankees, I just sounded like Mike Francesa. If the Yankees do beat the Indians by some miracle and get to the ALCS, Yankees are beating Boston. Chris Sale cannot pitch against the Yankees,
and their head-to-head record against Boston is great this year.
Yeah. So when you think about it, we have to talk about the Red Sox Astros first. I think the Red Sox come out on top, but barely. I think this series finishes.
I don't know why you're calling Chris Sale an X factor though, because Chris Sale is literally great against every single team besides Cleveland and the Yankees.
All right, who wins the series and by what amount?
Who wins the series?
Yeah.
Well, first I want to think who the actual X factor in the series is.
Yeah.
And that's Justin Verlander. Because Justin Verlander, since he went to Houston, 5-0, 1.20 ERA, I think I read.
I haven't watched him pitch in Houston.
Well, I fantasy baseball won the championship, and he led the way, so I know.
Wow.
Justin Verlander has been super for Houston since he got traded over in August. Super.
Okay.
Yeah, and if he pitches like that in the playoffs, he's going to outdo Chris Sale. And if that's how the series starts, Houston's got this.
Oh, and it's also one of Chris Sale's first starts in the playoffs.
One of them, yeah, because Chicago White Sox didn't exactly do much when he was there.
No, it was not. So, and he's on a team that can compete, so, but it doesn't mean anything this year. Oh, you think he gets Cy Young?
Sale? No, it's going to Kluber.
Yeah, it's going to Kluber, but...
No, but what he called, I never actually said he was going to win that series. I said if Justin Verlander outduels Chris Sale, Houston's going to win that series. And so Verlander's been great. What can go wrong?
How many wins does each team get? So you think Houston's going to win?
No, I think Boston's sweeping the series.
Oh!
I think that Verlander, it is going to go wrong.
Oh, okay.
Not pitched in the playoffs since, I think, 2012. That's the last time Detroit made it.
And you know what they did
that
forever.
Year? What did they do that year? Made the World Series?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but...
They lost.
Yeah.
Verlander was horrible in the World Series. I don't think Verlander's a good playoff pitcher. And I don't care if he changed teams. I don't care if he's recreated his career in the regular season.
Revived.
He's not going to come into the postseason and out to a Chris Sale. And I feel like that's going to set the tone for the whole series, because you forget that game is taking place in Houston. So if Chris Sale wins in Houston, Boston has this. And I hate to say that because it's Boston, but a Yankee-Boston series could be on the horizon.
So... You think Boston sweeps 3-0?
I really do.
Wow. Okay. So we'll move on to the National League. So by our guess, we're gonna say Dodgers Diamondbacks, and we're gonna say Cubs Nationals, and we'll start off with the Cubs Nationals, and I'm going to shock the world right now. Cubs lose. Done. First round. No World Series, especially after the drought they had. They had their one World Series. They've had major problems this year. Nationals finally get out of the first round of the playoffs.
No.
No. Jake's not buying into the whole first round.
I'm not buying into that at all.
Yeah.
Cubs, obviously the reigning World Series champions. They have the playoff experience. The Nationals have it too, but they don't have anything to show for it.
Don't you think there's a reason now that Drake didn't cite the Chicago Cubs in his famous hit back-to-back? It's because they haven't won before last year in how many years? 100 and...
But now a dynasty is starting.
Before Teddy Roosevelt
started. It doesn't matter. A dynasty is starting now. They still have all the pieces from last year.
Okay.
Besides, like, what? Dexter Fowler?
Yeah, well, all right, yeah. They don't have Dexter Fowler.
Sorry, Dexter Fowler. You didn't make or break the Cubs last year.
But they don't have the X Factor from last year.
And
David Ross. David Ross
can come coach them, like, in the locker room.
No, he won't. He
might. You never know. He's off Dancing with the Stars now.
Yeah. But they don't have him on the field. And,
but Wilson Contreras is one of the best catchers in Major League Baseball.
Hitting-wise?
Hitting-wise, yes.
All right.
I mean, he might not be able to call a game like David Ross did. But that pitching staff, they know how to pitch in the playoffs. The Nationals don't. It's that simple. Scherzer actually left Saturday start with an injury, and they kind of, didn't say it was that important. They said he was okay. I don't know if I buy into that. Scherzer,
buy into it. I buy into it. Scherzer will pitch if he gets his left leg amputated, he'll pitch. And you know that's...
No, he's going to pitch. I just don't know if he's going to be 100%.
You know it's the truth.
And that's kind of the story of the Washington Nationals. Are they 100%? Harper, injured for how long? Comes back. Is he 100%? Trey Turner missed months and months. Is he 100%? Ryan Zimmerman missed the last couple of weeks with like a ankle sprain or something.
You're talking
is he
about,
100%?
Listen to me. You're talking about amazing people, amazing players.
I'm talking about amazing players that are banged up.
Okay, well, banged up, they're going to bang their way through the playoffs, and I'm going to say the Nationals are going to be playing... Let's go to the other series, right?
No, because...
No, listen, I don't want to argue with this about... I don't know.
Yeah, because the Cubs are opinionated. The Cubs are healthy and they're hungry. The last week of the season, they brought their players in and out. No!
Stop being blasphemous!
What?
This is blasphemy. The Chicago Cubs are going to lose that series.
Are you trying to be Stephen A. Smith or something?
Yes.
It's not working.
Should I be Max Kellerman then? Sure. The new Yankees.
Get Bayless. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'll be Shannon Sharp. Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks, easy work of the Dodgers. So
Again, not answering that question. You really just don't care about these wild card games, do you?
I'm going to answer that question because I think the Dodgers are going to lose in the first round.
Here's what I'm going to say.
And I think the Cubs are going to lose in the first round, and I think the Nationals and the Diamondbacks are going to play in the championship series, and the Diamondbacks are going to make quick work of the Nationals because they are banged up.
I'm not going anything past this series. The Diamondbacks/Rockies are going to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yes, okay. And then we got the World Series, and we got our picks ready. It's going to be Cleveland, Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
And
you didn't agree with Cleveland, did you?
This is going to be... What?
You said Cleveland too?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, that's boring. Then we have the same exact thing.
Yeah, we both said that.
I thought you said something else in the...
all right. I said Boston has a good chance, but I...
Wait a minute. You said the Yankees are going to beat Cleveland.
What? I did.
Yeah.
A lot has changed over
I never said the Yankees even going to beat the Twins yet.
Well... All right, a lot has changed over a week, but we both decided, like, if you really think about it, Cleveland...
No, I still am Cleveland, Arizona. You don't have a right to say Cleveland.
All right, well...
You faulted me over that last week.
Okay, you know what? So when I take back everything I've said about the Cleveland Indians, Yankees make it to the World Series, sweep the Diamondbacks. There you go. You want a hot take? Here's your hot take. 350 degrees. What about you? What do you think? What do you think about the World Series, bud?
Can I just say Yankees, Rockies, and run?
No.
No, I told you, Diamondbacks, Indians. I'm sticking with it.
So who do you think wins?
Cleveland.
And why?
Cleveland, because they made it last year. They're not going to screw up again. They're hungry. Diamondbacks haven't been there since 2001. Different players, obviously, and it would be a shock if they made it. It's almost like if the Diamondbacks make it, it's the 2007 Colorado Rockies when they had their great run. They won 21 of the last 22. Got to the playoffs, won a couple series, World Series, swept by the Red Sox. That's what I see with the Diamondbacks. Maybe 5 games against Cleveland, they steal one, but I think Cleveland pretty much wins that series easily.
All right. We spoke about our sports, and now we have to mention something that's really
we do
really screwed up, and just basically for the victims and for people living in Las Vegas. I know it's a weird transition. There's no real way to go into this, but we had 58 people gunned down by a terrorist.
And that's 400 injured, maybe more. I mean, those numbers, nothing's official yet. Those numbers
this is the deadliest mass shooting in America.
Yeah, that's already been announced.
This is the new form of serial killing, except unfortunately, if you think about this guy was the most, and this is a terrible thing to say, he was the most effective shooter, and he knew when to act. He had this planned out clearly. He is human scum. I'm not even going to mention his name. He doesn't deserve to have his name mentioned. He doesn't deserve to have his face shown. He's an absolute coward.
You call it the new form of serial killing, but we've seen this for years and years.
We've seen this for years.
It started like in the 80s when this stuff started coming up.
Yeah, and this is just, it's cowardly, and he deserved nothing other than to be removed from this earth. 58 people. One off-duty cop was killed. One cop that was on duty was injured. Just absolutely terrible situation for everybody in Las Vegas. You know, we're sending our prayers. Anything. I'm sure you could donate to some form of a cause. Just look it up. Donate as much as you can. These families are heavily affected. First responders did a great great job. If you live in Las Vegas area, I don't know if you're listening to us, but go donate blood. That's the best thing you could do.
True, actually.
Donate blood. This is just absolutely terrible. Our prayers are with you. We're sending our thoughts with you. I woke up this morning and I hit a breaking point. I started crying because this is absolutely terrible. So.
You've never seen anything like this.
This is unmatched in history. So, on that note, we're gonna end the show. Thoughts and prayers are with you guys. Hopefully, we'll find out more about the motive of this.
And obviously, we give our condolences with everyone.
Everybody, every victim, every victim's family.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's for the show. That's the show for today. You want to sign off first, Jake?
Yep. It's a rough way to go off, but it has to be talked about, obviously.
Yeah. So
it's live from my own college. I'm Jake Demesa.
I'm Joe Sorrentino. Signing off.